Now let's turn our attention to the Sudan. It's been almost a week since the fighting began. Two rival military factions have been clashing. More than 350 people have reportedly been killed. Thousands have already fled Sudan's capital, Khartoum. That's where some of the heaviest fighting is taking place. But many, including foreign nationals, are still trapped in the capital. Countries like India and the US are looking at ways to evacuate their citizens. And there might be an opportunity now. A ceasefire has been declared for Eid al-Fitr.
As an immediate priority, I appeal for a ceasefire to take place for at least 3 days, marking the Eid al-Fitr celebrations, to allow civilians trapped in conflict zones to escape and to seek medical treatment, food and other essential supplies. This must be the first step in providing respite from the fighting and paving the way for a permanent ceasefire.
The ceasefire was supposed to have started this morning. It will be in place for 72 hours. At least that's what the fighters say. The RSF, or Rapid Support Forces. It's the paramilitary group that is fighting the army. And it released a message on social media. It said it would honor the ceasefire. But will it hold? Because the other side has made no such commitment. The other side is the Sudanese army, and it has made no official promise to observe the ceasefire. Sudan's army chief and de facto ruler, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, released this video last night.
Honorable citizens, we mourn all the victims of my country and pray for the recovery of those injured, and pray to God that this occasion of Eid returns in safety and peace. I salute you, my soldiers, as you give your lives for this dear country. Long live Sudan, free and independent.
The Eid ceasefire would be an extension. Earlier on Thursday, a 24-hour pause to fighting was declared, but it was not particularly successful, according to people in Khartoum.
The last few days here in Khartoum have been extremely chaotic. We woke up to what sounded like thunder or fireworks, and it was actually gunshots and artillery fire and shelling and fighter jets flying up above, and it has continued basically non-stop since it began. Even when there was supposed to be a 24-hour ceasefire yesterday, that did not at all take place immediately. There was rapid fire, and I saw a jet circling above, and the sounds of bombs and the shaking, it hasn't stopped.
I'm not optimistic about the ceasefire. We've tried this for a while. We've tried this, I think, 3 or 4 times. There hasn't been a ceasefire. Not one of the parties is honoring these proclaimed ceasefires.
These are the reports coming from the ground. As you can imagine, countries are wary. They're not sure if the new ceasefire will hold. The US is not taking chances. It is deploying its military to evacuate its citizens trapped in the Sudan.
There was a so-called ceasefire last night that didn't hold very long, and so people are still being hurt. What I can tell you is that we have good accountability of all our government personnel there working in and out of the embassy. They are all not still co-located, so the State Department is still, the embassy there is still trying to get them all co-located together for their own safety. They are still sheltering in place where they are. And as you probably saw, the Pentagon did announce that they are moving forward to pre-position some military forces and capabilities nearby, just for contingency purposes in case they would be needed for any kind of evacuation.
What about India? India is taking a non-military approach. The Indian embassy in Sudan has issued advisories. It is asking people to stay where they are to avoid the violence. It is also engaging diplomatically with countries around the Sudan to possibly help with evacuations. New Delhi is in touch with London and Washington. External Affairs Minister Jaishankar has spoken to his counterparts in Egypt, Saudi Arabia and the UAE.
Look, I think almost all countries and the citizens are having the same difficulty. The airport is non-operational. There is intense fighting going around in various parts of the country and in the city, particularly in Khartoum. And I think various countries are looking at options, how to get their citizens out, how to get their diplomatic personnel out. And we are obviously in close contact with them, whether through the capitals, through their embassies in Khartoum, as well as in New Delhi. The support is not specific, it depends. Some countries have some influence and information. Other countries perhaps could guide us in what measures they are taking. Perhaps we can pool resources. At this point, it's a bit premature, but we are in touch certainly, as I mentioned, UAE and Saudi Arabia are on that top of that list.
Reports say the UAE and Saudi Arabia are tacitly supporting the RSF, the paramilitary group fighting the army. That's the RSF. And Egypt is backing the Sudanese army. They share close ties. As for India, it is engaging with all nations that have some influence in the region. This is a developing story. We'll keep you updated.